started going to New Denver, I'd had one pretty okay church experience, but most of them were not that great. Really kind of catty, gossipy, cliquey kind of churches, small town stuff. And I didn't think there was anything else really. I had just gotten back to Denver from an internship in Uganda, and the experience I'd had with those other interns was unlike anything I'd had at a church. They were genuine believers who really loved and encouraged each other and challenged each other to grow, but were so accepting, and it was such a different experience. So it really made me want to try again. So I started Googling around for what kind of churches in Denver were new and had this other philosophy about really loving each other and having a community. And through that's how we ended up finding New Denver.
I think I was in a place of, honestly, I was in a pretty broken place, but in terms of church, I think that I had experienced a lot of cultural Christianity, not really people actually following what was in the Bible, but what, kind of the club.
So one way God made it easy for us to know that this was the right church was that very first Sunday we came. Like Jesse mentioned, we've been debating certain aspects of the Bible, and it was those exact questions that came up in the service. We're like, this is creepy. And then at the end of service, I think it was Stephen came up and said, we're starting a partnership in Guatemala, and it's going to be a water project if anyone has any experience in that. And I was like, I literally just got off the plane from doing that exact thing. That's what I want to do. So we went straight upstairs to this meeting with a bunch of people we'd never met about the Guatemala partnership. Jesse and I were able to go down twice, get to meet the community there and Pastor Antonio, and work with a lot of great people. And the water project had its own life cycle that did end up ending, but it was a really great experience because it was the community's choice. They wanted a different project over the water project, and New Denver was a great partner, and that they knew that and they respected that and moved forward with the community's desire, which was great. I mean, that's humanitarian missions 101, and it was perfect. So we all learned that lesson together as a church, and that was really cool. So when we started looking at moving overseas, it was actually to Guatemala as a part of that. And as the water project was kind of wrapping up, and had felt so led by God in that, we were a little confused, but we already started talking to a mission agency kind of to support us in moving to Guatemala. So they said, well, why don't you see what other opportunities we have? And so I typed in solar and water, and they had this option that ended up being where we are now.
So the project that World Venture had us connected to was called Lumi. Lumi is a solar company, kind of a social enterprise in northern Uganda, focused on rural distribution of small pay-as-you-go solar products. And by pay-as-you-go, I mean people are able to put small bits of money weekly towards the purchase of the product and able to use it at the same time so that they can make this large purchase easily and within their current economic capability.
When we took the opportunity with Lumi, it was for water and solar, but pretty quickly it was obvious that Lumi wasn't going to be able to go into any water work. So I was helping with Lumi, but trying to keep my eyes open for some water work. And as Jesse mentioned, I ended up starting an organization called WET with a British geologist who also lives in the area. And the idea behind WET is that it's a drilling company. It does water supply services, so drilling, small-scale distribution, design, pumps, those kinds of things. But yeah, so I'm the civil engineer, we have the British geologist, and we operate as if we were a for-profit company, but then we use the profits to offer subsidized wells to rural communities through an application process. And these are honestly the communities that are the most invested. What we've seen on the ground is that these are the communities that are really going to maintain the water source as well. So although we've been away in most respects from New Denver for the last 4 years, it still feels like we're really connected here. Not only do we, like I said, feel like I grew up here as an adult, everything about us getting to Uganda had to do with New Denver, but we've been able to stay in touch in lots of ways. We've gotten cards and letters from people in the congregation, which is so encouraging. We don't get a lot of mail in Uganda, so when we get cards from here, it makes us really happy. Every time we come back to Denver for visits or support raising, or now to have a baby, this just feels like home. And a lot of people have come and gone in 4 years, but we still always see familiar faces, And New Denver's financially supported us. People at New Denver have financially supported us the whole time. New Denver supported us in all those ways, as well as what they would call member care for people who live overseas. So every month we have a Skype call with Stephen and Kate and just tell them, how we're doing. They see when their power is out or there's mosquitoes in the room and we're killing them on the Skype call. And it's nice to know that some people here, kind of know what we're going through, can kind of see a little bit of our life and keep in touch with all the developments, all those transitions with Lumi and WED and all those things. So it's really nice to feel like some people from here are still connected to what we're doing there, even though we're on the other side of the world.
Yeah.